Welcome for this newsletter of EatTheBlocks, a weekly newsletter for Ethereum developer. If you haven't subscribed to the newsletter yet, go to my website and click on subscribe so you will receive an email every week with all the links and you will never miss an episode of the newsletter. So this week I've released a new course on EatTheBlocks Pro Smart Contract Debugging. So this is something that I've been wanting to do since a long time because that is something that is quite very important when you develop smart contract, but it's also something that is very difficult to find. I've searched everywhere and it was very difficult to find any resources on how to debug a Solidity smart contract. So I've decided to launch a series on EatTheBlocks Pro. So in this course, I will teach you how you can debug smart contract using the Remix Debugger, the Truffle Debugger, and many other things such as how to have the equivalent of console.log statement in JavaScript with events in Solidity. So if you go to the page of the course on EatTheBlocks Pro and you scroll down, then you will see all the class curriculum. I've already released half of the videos. There are about 11 of them. And all the videos are already recorded, so I'm just gonna drip them in the next few weeks. And so it's very detailed. So first I talk about some stuff very general, like debugging calls versus transaction. What are the different kind of errors? So you have syntax error, runtime error, or logic error. Then I also tell you about the different types of Solidity runtimes error. Then I give you some solution for some very common problem like VM exception out of gas, or VM exception invalid opcode revert. So that's something that is very, very confusing for beginners. Like, what is this thing, invalid opcode? This is weird. So I explain you everything in this video. Then I give you a lot of tips like how to inspect the storage with call and return statement, how you can use require and revert to debug. Not many people know this. How you can debug with events. That is super good. And finally, how to use the Remix Debugger. So this is very difficult to use the Remix Debugger if you don't find a tutorial, and I haven't found really any good tutorials. So that's why I've made this video. And the Remix Debugger can be extremely valuable if you know how to use it. So yeah, I hope that you guys will find this course useful. If you've already debugged a smart contract or tried to debug a smart contract and you have any question or comment to make, please write in the comment. Then I find this news about the counterfactual framework. So counterfactual framework is a new thing. It's basically a framework for developing Dapp with a state channel. So you've probably heard of this layer 2 scaling solution that allow you to basically do like free transaction and like very fast block time. So like a solution for layer 2 solution include the Loom network, but also Raiden, and you have like a couple of others like this. But most of these scaling solution, they are for very simple transactions, such as just Ether transfer or ERC20 token transfer. But what if your Dapp need to scale on a layer 2 solution, but with complex custom smart contract transaction? Then there is no solution yet. Well, state channel have been developed to answer this problem. So state channel as some sort of generalized layer 2 solution. And this framework counterfactual really help you to design your Dapp and implement it as with a state channel. So there are different parts. There is the smart contract part. There is the interaction between the smart contract and your Dapp. And there is also the state channel part, which is basically the layer 2 solution itself. So there are 3 parts in this framework. It's still in heavy development, but it might be worth checking out how it works already. And in this article, basically, you'll have an update by the development team. Then on Reddit, I found an interesting thread that explained the Create 2 opcode. So Create 2 is a new opcode that's going to be rolled out in the Constantinople fork that is upcoming. So before you're able to use the Create 2 opcode, you'll need to wait for Solidity to add it in a Solidity programming language. This being said, if you already want to understand how this can help for your Dapp, then you can check out this article. Then I find this article on efficient Ethereum addresses. So this is something I had no idea about. So basically, let's say you have a smart contract and you call your smart contract several times. So you would think that if you call the same function, then the gas cost will be exactly the same. Well, no. That actually depends on the value of the arguments. And for example, addresses that have more zeros, if you give them as an argument of a function, then it will result in a lower gas cost. And if there are more zero, it will result in a higher gas cost. And if you don't believe me, you can actually try this out. So try to send an ERC20 token to different addresses, and you will see that depending on the address that you send it to, then the gas cost will be different. So this article explains you why and goes deep in the EVM bytecode. Then I found this tutorial on how to build a token recommender using the Google Cloud platform. So if you're interested in mixing AI, machine learning, and blockchain, this is the perfect tutorial for you. It uses TensorFlow, which is a famous framework for machine learning. It also uses a lot of the infrastructure of Google Cloud. It doesn't go too deep into machine learning stuff and math heavy stuff. So, I mean, you don't have to worry too much. It also uses Google BigQuery, which recently has started to index a lot of data of the Ethereum blockchain. So you can basically query this service like you would query a database using like a SQL-like language and get some information on the blockchain, and based on that and machine learning, then you will produce a recommendation for buying or not a certain ERC20 token. So it is very interesting. Then there is a new beta release of Ganache GUI. So in the previous episode of this newsletter, I introduced what are the major improvements in Ganache GUI 2. So it's still the beta, but if you want to try the new features now, you can check it out. And there are some very interesting features around project and the blockchain snapshot. Then the 0x protocol is introducing a market maker program where basically they offer you up to $15,000 if you run a market maker. So they have a couple of tools that can allow you to easily set up a market maker. And basically after you do this, then you probably need to be a little bit creative, but you can reach out to them and basically get this grant if you really can show that you will contribute to the ecosystem. Then there is this tutorial on how to run a Parity node in 2019. So Parity is one of the major Ethereum clients. The most famous one is Go Ethereum, but Parity is the more enterprise run, and it is written in Rust. However, running an Ethereum client isn't as simple as just running a command line, just like start and waiting that everything works. Because the blockchain is so huge, in a lot of cases, actually, if you don't set up the correct flag and you don't have the proper hardware, then your blockchain, your node basically will not sync up to the network, and basically you will not be able to use your Ethereum node. So there are different synchronization modes, and this article will explain the differences between them and what are the different options that you need to set up and basically how to make it work. Then there is this article that summarizes the main changes that are brought by the Constantinople upcoming fork. So you know that regularly Ethereum introduces some new feature and some new changes in the algorithm, and when this happens, then the network need to do a fork, which means that all the miners and all the users of the network have to upgrade its software with the latest version of the different Ethereum implementation so that they can have the latest feature of Ethereum. So on January 16, we were supposed to have the Constantinople fork, and well, it's been delayed for reason I will explain just after this article. But basically, this article of consensus explaining what are the main features of the Constantinople upgrade. For us developer, we don't have much to worry about except the create to opcode that I've explained earlier in this newsletter. But other than that, the other changes are very internal. So I said that the Constantinople upgrade was delayed, and that was because some people figure out that there was a new reentrancy attack that was brought by this fork. So why do we have this vulnerability? Well, you see in the EVM there is an opcode that is called SS store, and basically SS store allow you to save some data on the blockchain. Before the upgrade, SS store has a certain gas cost. After the upgrade, the gas cost of the SS store operation decreased a lot. And basically, so reentrancy attack, this is something that I explain on EatTheBlocks Pro, so I'm not going to explain it here, but basically it's a security vulnerability that can potentially allow an attacker to empty the ether of a smart contract, and that's what famously happened in the DAO smart contract hack in 2016. So if you have, let's say, a smart contract A that calls a smart contract B, then the smart contract B can actually call back the same function that was triggered in smart contract A and basically do some state changes. This vulnerability was fixed when Solidity introduced the address.transfer method, which basically constrained the amount of gas that the smart contract B can spend when doing the reentrancy attack. So we had what we call a gas stipend of 2,300 gas, which did not allow to do any SS store operation. But now that SS store is the cost of SS store is lower, then basically address.transfer became dangerous. So the team of Ethereum is fixing the problem, and hopefully we will have the actual fork happening in the coming weeks. And finally, I find this link on what's new in Ethereum 2.0. So Ethereum 2.0 is the new name of what we call before the Serenity update. So that's the future of Ethereum with sharding, Casper, etc., etc. And so this thing that I'm showing, it's run by a developer that updates every week and basically explain what is new in Ethereum 2.0, both in terms of the specification and also in terms of the implementation. So if you're into this, then check it out. It's mostly about programming, but not too much about math and not too much cryptography. So yeah, if you're not a mathematician but just wanna follow this as a developer, then you can totally do it. And before we finish, I'd like to give you a brief preview of what you can see as a student in EatTheBlocks Pro, my private website where I upload a ton of courses and private tutorial for Ethereum and Solidity smart contract. So if you buy the monthly subscription for $10, then you have access to all the video, all the courses. So far there are 70 videos and almost 10 hours of content. And the interface is really polished. So here, for example, I am in the course Smart Contract 3. So you can see all the class curriculum on the left with all the different sections. So here, beginner, after intermediate, etc. And here, if you click on a video, it's gonna play here on the right.
Hey, and what?
And also, if you scroll down, then I copy paste the code. So basically, you have the code and the video in the same screen. So it's really convenient to use. So in terms of update, then I maintain a change log where basically I show all the updates. So long term, I will be uploading one video every week, but for the launch of EatTheBlocks, I'm actually way faster than that, and I upload a new video every day. So in the change log, if you scroll down, then you can see all the details. So here, Friday, today, I uploaded this video, yesterday, this one, etc., etc. But basically every single day I upload a new video. So this is quickly becoming by far the largest resources for learning Ethereum and smart contract programming. So for just $10 a month, like, don't hesitate, guys. I mean, you're gonna do yourself a favor, and basically you will not have to spend like hours and so much time like searching for different information. Like, everything will be at the same place. And also, if you have any request and you want a specific content, then you can just ask me. So if you have any question regarding this newsletter or EatTheBlocks Pro, please ask me in the comment here. And thanks for watching my weekly newsletter, and give me a like if you enjoyed this video. and I hope to see you for another video of EatTheBlocks. Bye guys.